JP, does you being at the press conference, does that mean you're going to get a game tomorrow?
We'll find out later after practice. Team selections obviously after practice, so I'm hoping that there's an opportunity, yes. Obviously 2 games left. It would be nice to end off playing a game in a World Cup, yeah.
JP, how disappointing would it have been to come to this World Cup only play 3 games if after you've already announced that you'll be retiring from ODI cricket?
It's disappointing, yes. It's not the biggest disappointment. If I had played 3 games and we had made a playoff or fought for the title, I think anyone, or particularly myself, would be in a lot happier position. I think the most disappointing part obviously has been our team performance, and I think it will be remiss of me not to mention how disappointed we are. Particularly letting all our fans down back home. It's been pretty dismal from our part, and we wish that we could point out one thing or the reason why we haven't performed. I think we've put in a lot of effort in terms of our preparation, in terms of our strategy, going out there with a good mindset, a strong mindset. But unfortunately, we haven't been able to produce and executed our plans. And that's been the most disappointing part for all of us, including myself. And we obviously just want to apologize to the public and the South African fans for letting them down. When you represent your country, it's always a proud moment, and you understand that you represent 50, 60 million people. That's a proud moment in itself. And when you put in performances like that, you in a way almost feel ashamed of that. But we know that it's not all lost, even though, yes, it is a World Cup, and I believe that this team will come back stronger. There will be obviously some sort of introspection around where we've gone wrong. And that's going to be some conversations had post-World Cup. And as I said, I believe that we will come back stronger.
JP, it's a slightly different, well, maybe a very different dynamic for you, because you'd already announced that you were retiring in that. Just maybe if you can just give us some insight into how this tournament has felt for you, because you're retiring at the end, compared to some of the other guys who still have a future, who still have to carry on and pick up the pieces, if you like.
Yeah, the last thing I would have thought is playing the first 3 games and being left out, particularly after a retirement call. But that's the nature of the beast, You never guaranteed a selection. Everybody has an opportunity not to be selected if you're not putting in performances. It's a bittersweet moment for me, wanting to end off on a real high in terms of international one-day cricket. But unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. And I think the important thing for me is when you reflect post-World Cup is to see where I could have done better, but also you're kind of in a space of awe. Why I say that is because you're sort of looking back not only on a World Cup, you're looking back on a 15-year career. And that's something that I'm very proud of and very grateful for, to be able to date play 197 games. It's not something that I've thought about or dreamt of being a young boy. So, those are the sort of positives that you'll take away. But yeah, it is a little bit different for guys that will carry on, because they, as you said, have to pick up some of the pieces that have fallen in this World Cup. But I think that is what makes a strong South African team. We've always been resilient. We've always had opportunities to come back, and that's why I said there will be opportunities to come back, and I have no doubt that this team will come back stronger and be even more prepared and driven to put in a really good performance in 4 years' time.
JP, if you can elaborate on that a bit, just what that process looks like. I mean, when the guys get home, what does Cricket South Africa do in terms of taking those steps to recover from this?
I wish I could give you that answer. I'm not sure. Obviously, I heard reports that heads will roll, but if I look at our management staff and the amount of work they've put in over the last 2 years, and it's always a difficult one when they bear the most brunt of our performances. the important thing for us is to take responsibility for that and sort of stand up and be man enough to know that, we've come up short. They've given us the support, they've given us all the backing that we need to go out there and put in big performances, but unfortunately we are the ones that have come up short. So in terms of the decisions that Cricket South Africa make, that's out of my hands. That I don't know what decisions will be made. But going on the back of previous World Cups, there'll probably be some shifting, and I think that's a reality that we all understand. What shifting will take place, that's out of my hands, but it's important for us to be accountable for our actions.
JP, is there we all know, South Africans in this room, about Vision 2019 and all of these things that went into this World Cup in terms of planning and everything else. It was possibly South Africa's most ever planned World Cup, and the team have been so utterly uncompetitive in most of their games. Does that make you think that science is lying? And is it a worry that, if you do all that, how can it go so badly? Is that a worry?
I wouldn't say it's a worry in that science is a liar. I think it's a combination of a few things. I think you got to understand what play science has in the game. I'm always been a big fan of the mental side of the game, so that's an important facet that we need to make sure that we cover. Are things put in place for us to be mentally fresh, mentally strong when it comes to the pressure moments of the game? So those are kind of things that we want to reflect on. In terms of our preparation, were guys fresh? Were guys technically sound? There's a whole host of things that one can reflect on and point fingers at. But I'm always going to come back to the fact that, particularly at this level, you are accountable for your own game. There's a lot of mature guys in this team that have been around for 2-3 World Cups. And unfortunately, we haven't had the answers for the questions that have been posed at us this World Cup. And that's a difficult pill to swallow. With myself, this is being my 3rd World Cup, coming here pretty confident that I can put in big performances for the team, and not being able to do that. I walk away feeling pretty disappointed with that. And I think everybody will have that self-reflection, and for me, that's the most important thing.
JP, you've obviously been around quite a long time, and you've seen a lot of things happen. It does look like this time there's a lot more kind of outside stuff going on, and I'm just wondering, you've seen administrations change and so on. How much has the outside stuff played a role in what's going on here? How much do you think about things like Saka taking CSA to court, etc.?
Honestly, I think it's had no part. We've been strong, particularly the leadership of this team. We've been strong on the fact that we've created a bubble, and there are certain things that we understand where that sits. It sits outside the bubble. So coming here, that has been the last thing on our mind. We had one mission, and that was to play really good cricket in this World Cup and give ourselves a good chance to get into that playoffs and take it from there. But unfortunately, we've come up short, and our skills haven't been good enough on this trip. From a batting perspective, nobody's stood up to score hundreds, partnerships, no hundreds. From a bowling perspective, we had opportunities, but unfortunately, we've never closed it down. So those are the things that we need to reflect on. Outside influences, we are a mature group of men that have come along for a long way, and we can't use that as an excuse. We are professionals, and I think we've created a good environment and a culture that understands how to block out the negativity, and we know that there's a job at hand, and we got to find a way to get it done.
JP, just looking ahead post World Cup, your plans, you're playing T20 cricket, but are there coaching plans? Are there commentary plans? What is? There possibly vacancies coming up. Is that part of the? Is that part of the plan going forward?
To be honest, I haven't looked that far. Obviously, got a few T20 leagues lined up, and just taking it sort of series by series and seeing how things unfold. With getting older, the body takes its toll. So it's kind of just assessing that, understanding where my family is, young family growing up, so you want to be at home. and just kind of planning and thinking about what's next in terms of post-playing cricket. Obviously had a few stints in the commentary box, which I enjoyed, and hopefully I don't chirp the current players too much.
JP, your career obviously you know will always be remembered for that 166 that you got against Australia, but kind of inconsistencies as you've gone along. How much are you using these last two games, if you are selected, to kind of leave on like a real high note and be remembered for 100 tomorrow?
And I don't say this boastfully. I say this because I think it's the honest truth. For me, legacy is not in performance. I think legacy is the person you are. And for me, it's about being a good person. It's about influencing people in the right way. So that, for me, is the biggest legacy. There's no doubt that I want to put in a big performance for the team, for the public, for the fans that have supported us through thick and thin. But for me, the legacy lies in, when people look back or think of you and they've had the opportunity to interact with you, I don't think 100 is the thing that they remember. They remember the impact they had on you, that you had on their life. And I think that's the most important thing for me. The friendships that are formed with this group of men that we have, and previously before, those are the things that I'll hold on to. Playing for South Africa, there's no doubt that performance is one of the most important things. And it doesn't stop you from wanting to put in big performances. But ultimately, for me, that's not the end all and be all.
JB, leave aside post-World Cup, how motivated are you guys to stop Sri Lanka in having a chance of qualifying for the semi-finals? They still have a couple of games left about tomorrow's game.
No, I wouldn't say that's a mission of ours. I think the important mission for us is to play good cricket. The cricket that we know and the brand that we know we are capable of playing. And I think if we do that, particularly tomorrow and the game against Australia, we give ourselves the best chance of beating them. We've played good cricket against Sri Lanka, in Sri Lanka a few months ago, and recently in South Africa. So we know we can beat them. We know we can put in big performances. But the important thing is to look introspectively and how we're going to do that. We don't have a grudge against Sri Lanka to want to kick them out of the World Cup. It's not about that. I think the important thing for us is to make sure we put in a big performance.
JP, you touched a little bit on the comments that have been made by former players. Do you feel as if though that that just becomes part of the job, that you become critical of the national team, especially when the team hasn't performed? And you yourself, as you've been in this position before in the commentary box. And what does the leadership group, the guys like Hash, Faf, yourself, who've been here for a long time, think about that sort of criticism, and does it harm the team?
I think there will be certain guys that will take it personally, but again, like I mentioned earlier about the bubble, those kind of things stay outside of the bubble, and we try and keep it out as much as possible. But the difficulty with that is certain guys will have relationships with past players, and if a past player has a comment, whether it's a negative or positive, whatever it may be, it can possibly affect certain players. The important thing for me is that we understand the context of where it comes from and why it's coming from there. I think there's a big part of it is that past players still feel a part of a team, and they feel the sort of pain possibly of the poor performance, and they want to see guys putting in big performances. But when you have agendas, that's something that's out of our control, and it's difficult for us to have a say over that because we don't understand the agenda, where it comes from, what's the meaning behind it, and that's why it's important for us to try and keep it outside of the bubble as best as possible. At the moment, the most important thing is what's inside, and that is this group of players and the management, and we need to try and look after them as best as possible. So whatever happens outside, that's their own prerogative, and at the end of the day, they know the real reason why they're saying what they're saying, and that's out of our control.
JP, Sri Lanka's coach said that once a team has been knocked out of the World Cup, effectively they can either they can either rock up to the field playing with freedom or with one foot already on the plane. You guys probably want the former to happen. How do you make sure that's what happens then?
I think that's a personal thing. From a leadership point of view, you can speak about that, but ultimately you need to make that decision for yourself. Is your foot on the plane, or does that give you a sense of freedom? I 100% agree with the freedom. Just go out and play your natural game, your naturally gifted game. And that's not a cop-out. That's just an understanding that you have almost the license to just go out and play with the freedom that you were allowed to play with almost as a young kid, and play with a smile on your face, play to enjoy the game. And that's the kind of mentality that I certainly want to end off my international one-day career with. Just enjoying having fun with my friends on the field, and understand what a huge privilege it was to represent my country so many times. And you should never take it for granted. And if any of us has one foot on the plane, that means you're taking it for granted. And that's definitely something that we don't want to encourage.
Hello. Tomorrow is a crucial match for you because the tournament has just widened up. So I mean, it's opened. So what are your thoughts? Like, what is the strategy? Does the fact that South Africa, with already knocked out of the playoff, last 4 stage race, does that put you in a better position?
You can take it either way. When you have no pressure of qualifying, they can come and play without any pressure, fearless cricket, and that can get them going. So at the same time, they can turn up nothing, just want to go home. So you never know.
Coach, any update on Nuwan Pradeep, who's been down with fever, and the number 6 position, which has been turning around with Milinda Sirivardhana coming in one match, Jeevan Mendy's last game, both have failed. Any changes?
About Nuwan, we haven't heard from the doctors yet. He's going to see a doctor today, and then I will know in the evening what's the situation with him. In terms of number 6 position, you're right that we tried few players and we didn't have much patience with any of them, so we have to be a little bit patient with the one whoever we picked, and it all depends on the combination that we want to play against the opposition as well as the venue that we are playing. So that also we need to decide in the morning of the game.
Hathu, over the years, the Sri Lankan teams have worried about how to play South Africa's fast bowling, but in recent times, Imran Tahir has been quite a handful. How do you sort of plan out take him on? He had quite a bit of success in the bilateral series as well in recent.
Yeah, you're right. He's a world-class bowler. That's the reason. It's not because of that we have or the weakness of playing spin. I think our guys play spin okay, but he's a world-class performer. The thing for me I'm looking at is some of the players that playing tomorrow, he had not been there in South Africa, like Angelo, and then he was not there, and Kusal Janit didn't play the last few games, so, and Dimut as well. So they're in form. For us, is fortunately most of the top order got some runs somewhere down the line, so hopefully we click as a batting group this game.
Any more questions in English? Just one more in English here, and we'll go on to Sinhalese after that.
I mean, I know that you lost to South Africa 5-0 2 months ago, but the conditions here would make you think that, you are in with a chance?
Obviously, we think that we have a good chance because we are coming off 2 wins and a very good win against England. Although we didn't play our best cricket to win the game in terms of batting, and I think we had a perfect bowling display defending that target. The cricket is a funny game. You can lose so many games and win the one is the most important is this next game. I think we have enough talent and the skill set to compete with them tomorrow.
Hathu, the batsmen had a bit of a they got themselves going in the last match a little bit, but what are you trying to tell them in order to, I guess, get them back into full form? The middle order has been a bit shaky right through. What do you as a coach have to tell them to get them to produce more consistently?
That's what we discussed even before the England game also, like they all have done this before, like especially someone like Matthews, a world-class player, and he showed a lot of mental resilience in that innings because he was under pressure, the team was under pressure for various reasons, and he was not scoring, coming without much runs, so he showed a lot of character. So those are the things we discussed, and having partnership. He was involved in 2 partnerships. Even DDS not batting well as he could, or we know he can bat, but still had a very crucial partnership with Matthews. And Kusal Mendes got involved in 2 good partnerships with Avishka and Angelo. So those are the things that we normally talk. It's very key for us to put partnership together and click as a batting group.
Can we go to sing one more English question? I'll go to Sinhalese after.
His power hitting hasn't been something we've seen from Sri Lanka much. Has that been a focus for you over the last few days?
Yes, we have been practicing a lot power hitting with various ways of using the net facility we have. The good thing that what is worked for us is that the top order. We had two good partnerships at the start, apart from the last game. We know that what Isuru and Tisara Pereira can produce, and we still back them to do that. So hopefully, next few games that they come off.
Chandika Hathurusingha මහතා මේ මෙම තනනිල්ල පරීක්ෂා කරාද මේ තනනිල්ලේ ස්වභාවය මොන වගේ වෙයිද හෙට තරඟේ අනිත් කාරණාව තමයි මේ අද පුහුණු සඳහා ක්‍රීඩකයන් කීප දෙනෙක් පමණයි සහභාගීලා සිටියේ මොකද්ද මේකට හේතුව?
ඔව් අද පුහුණුවීම් වලට එන්න සාමාන්‍යයෙන් තියෙන එක ඔප්ෂනල් ට්‍රේනින් කියලා කියන්නේ ඒක ප්ලේයර්ස්ලාගේ දවස කියලා එදාට ප්ලේයර්ස්ලා ඩිසයිඩ් කරනවා ඒගොල්ලන්ට කරන්න ඕනද නැද්ද කියන එක. එහෙම තමයි අපි මගේ අන්තිම අවුරුදු මාස එකමාරෙම අවුරුදු දෙකමාරෙම සමාවෙන්න කරේ. ඒකයි ඒගොල්ලෝ මොකද අපිට අන්තිම දවස් 3 හොඳ පුහුණුවීම් කරන්න ලැබුණා. වර්ෂාවෙන් බාධාවක් වුණේ නැහැ. ඒක නිසා ඒගොල්ලෝ යාවේ නැහැ. අනිත් එක ඇහුව ප්‍රශ්නේ තනනිල්ල ගැන. තනනිල්ල දැනටමත් හොඳ තත්ත්වයක තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ අද උනත් මැච් එක ගහන තත්ත්වයට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. ග්‍රවුන්ඩ්ස්මන් තාමත් ඒක වැඩ කරනවා. සෝ ඒක නිසා මම හිතනවා මේක ලකුණු ගොඩක් ලකුණු තියෙන තනනිල්ලක් වෙයි කියලා.
නුවන්ගේ සෞඛ්‍ය තත්ත්වය සහ ශ්‍රී ලංකා කණ්ඩායම මේ තරඟයට ඇති සූදානම පිළිබඳව කොහොමද?
නුවන්ගේ සෞඛ්‍ය තත්ත්වය ගැන අපි අද හවසට මම දැනගන්නවා. එයා වෛද්‍යවරයෙක් හම්බ වෙනවාද? එයා මේකට ගහන්න පුළුවන්ද නැද්ද කියන එක දැනගන්න. අනිත් ප්‍රශ්න දෙකක් ඇහුවම මට එකක් අමතක වෙනවා.
කොහොමද මේ තරගයට තියෙන ප්‍රෙපරේෂන්?
ඔව් මම කිව්වා වගේ ප්‍රෙපරේෂන් එක හොඳටම තිබුණා. මොකද අන්තිම දවස් 3ම අපිට වර්ෂාවෙන් බාධා වුණේ නැහැ පුහුණු වෙන්න. අපිට දවස් දෙකක් ඊට ඉස්සෙල්ලත් අපිට අපි රෙස්ට් එකක් දුන්න ළමයින්ට. ඒක නිසා මම හිතනවා ෆිසිකලි මෙන්ටලිත් අපි හොඳට ප්‍රිපෙයාර් වුණා කියලා මේ තරගෙට.
Chandika, Angelo Matthews, Lasit Malinga වැනි එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් අතින් වැඩි ක්‍රීඩකයෝ perform කරලා එදා තරගයේ ජයග්‍රහණය කරා. ඒ වගේ දෙයක් ඒ වගේ perform කරද්දී කණ්ඩායම ඇතුලේ කොහොමද ඒ කියන්නේ දිමුත් කරුණාරත්නගේ නායකත්වයෙන් කොහොමද කණ්ඩායම ඇතුලේ කට්ටිය කිව්වොත් මයින්ඩ්සෙට් එක කොහොමද තියෙන්නේ?
ඔව් ඒක තමයි ඇත්තටම හොඳ කණ්ඩායම් වලදී බැලුවොත් අනිත් කණ්ඩායම දිහා බැලුවොත් ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ අර අපි කියනවා big players ලා කියලා. ඒගොල්ලෝ perform කරනවා. දැන් අපිට ඒක උන එක ඇත්තටම කණ්ඩායමට ලොකු ධෛර්යයක්. ඒ වගේ ක්‍රීඩකයෝ දක්ෂතා දක්වනකොට. මොකද ඒගොල්ලෝ ඒ දක්ෂතා දක්වන්නේ ඇත්තටම තරඟයේ අවස්ථාවල් දිනන්න පුළුවන් අවස්ථාවල්, crucial අවස්ථාවල්. ගේම් එක දෙපැත්තට යන්න තියෙන වෙලාව. උදාහරණයක් ගත්තොත් කේන් විලියම්සන් නිව්සීලන්ත වලට රන්ස් අතර ඉන්නවා, ජෝ රූට් ඉන්නවා. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ ක්‍රීඩකයෝන් අනිත් ඔපොසිෂන් එකත් බලන්නේ විජහට අවුට් කරගන්න. නැත්නම් විකට් අතරට ගෙන්න දෙන්නේ නැති වෙන්න. නමුත් ඒ ප්ලේයර්ස්ලා දිනුවොත් මොකද අපි ප්ලෑන් කරනකොටත් ප්ලෑන් කරන්නේ ඒ ක්‍රීඩකයන්ගේ වටේ තමයි අනිත් ප්ලෑන්ස් උත් තියෙන්නේ. මලින්ගට උදේ විකට් ගන්නට, මලින්ග මැදින් ඇවිල්ලා විකට් එකක් ගන්න. අන්තිම ඕවර් දාන්න. ඇන්ජලෝ මැද බැට් කරලා ලොකු ඉනිං එකක් ගහන්න. ඉතින් ඒක ආපුවාම තරඟයේ ප්ලෑන් එකටත් හොඳ වෙනවා. අනිත් තරඟයේ ඉන්න අපේ අනිත් ප්ලේයර්ස්ලටත් ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ රෝල් එක කරන්නටත් ලොකු ධෛර්යයක් ලැබෙනවා.
Babar, you've had a lot of criticism in the past about not taking the team home, about not scoring centuries when Pakistan needed them most. Do you feel that that has now been changed, and the fact that you've achieved a century there in a winning cause?
जी बिल्कुल, ये मेरे अपने भी माइंड में था, क्योंकि मैं फिनिश नहीं कर पा रहा था, तो मेरे माइंड में था ये। लेकिन जो मेरा गेम प्लान था वो जो हर मैच में होता है वही था इस मैच में भी, और मेरा यही था कि जितनी पार्टनरशिप हफीज़ भाई के साथ थी और उसके बाद जब हैरी भाई के साथ थी, तो हमारा ये प्लान था कि जितनी हम इससे पार्टनरशिप को लम्बा ले जाएं उतना ही अच्छा है।
Yeah, it's in my mind that I'm not finishing the match, and in the middle I have Harris and I will be batting, and we have a plan that we have to carry on the innings, and we will done the same.
At the beginning, you didn't seem as fluent as usual. Was it the pitch? Did that have something to do with it?
जी बिल्कुल, पिच स्लो था, जब स्टार्ट हमारी बॉलिंग में भी स्लो था, लेकिन जो सेकंड टाइम टर्न शुरू हो गया था वो थोड़ा सा डिफ़िकल्ट था हमारे लिए, लेकिन हमने जो अंदर प्लान किया था मैंने और हफीज़ भाई ने कि इसको जितने हम इस पे कम चांस लें उतना हमारे लिए अच्छा, टीम के लिए अच्छा है, और वो सक्सेस हुआ। और हमने जो दूसरा प्लान ये था कि हम फास्ट बॉलर पे अटैक करेंगे और उस पर हम रन्स करेंगे।
Yeah, it's difficult to bat on this pitch. It's spinning a lot, and Hafiz and I have planned that we have to play off the spinners over, and we will attack the fast bowlers.
Now that the tournament is wide open for you guys, like the next two matches are very crucial. How confident are you beating Bangladesh and Afghanistan, who are comparatively lower ranked than you?
जी बिल्कुल, इस विन के बाद काफ़ी पॉजिटिव है सारे, और क्योंकि पिछले मैच में भी सब ने अच्छा परफॉर्म किया और उसी परफॉर्मेंस को कंटिन्यू किया, और जैसे आपने देखा कि बॉलिंग हमारी काफ़ी अच्छी उन्होंने स्टार्ट किया था, शहीन ने काफ़ी अच्छी बॉलिंग की, और उसके बाद वहाब भाई ने भी काफ़ी अच्छी बॉलिंग की, तो ऐसे ही सबका कंट्रीब्यूशन था, हर एक बॉलिंग का भी बैट्समैन का भी, कि जिस तरह ओपनर इमाम ने अच्छा खेला, उसके बाद फिर मैं और हफीज़ भाई और हारिस भाई ने सब कंपटीशन उन्होंने सब ने अच्छा किया, और बिलीव है, और हम मैच टू मैच सोच रहे हैं, हम अभी एंड का नहीं सोच रहे, हम यही है कि अगले मैच का फोकस है, उस पर जीत के फिर हम बांग्लादेश का सोचेंगे।
Yeah, we are very focused on this thing, and Hafiz, Babar, Shaheen, everybody contributed a lot, and we are confident we are taking match by match, and hopefully we will qualify.
एक क्वेश्चन बड़ी बातें हो रही हैं कि बड़ी
कि 92 की जो विन थी उससे बड़ी कंपैरिजन है, तो ड्रेसिंग रूम में या होटल में ऐसी बातें हो रही हैं कि वैसा ही चल रहा है जैसे 92 में था?
नहीं जी, ऐसा कोई बात नहीं हो रही, बस यही है कि हम मैच टू मैच, जैसे मैंने बोला है कि मैच टू मैच हम प्लान कर रहे हैं और फोकस कर रहे हैं कि हम डू और डाई मैचेस हैं, और हमने यही प्लान किया कि हमने हर मैच जीतना है और सब ने अपना 100% देना है।
बाबर, आपकी जो 10 सेंचुरियां हैं उसमें से 8 जो है वो विनिंग कॉज में है, मतलब पाकिस्तान वो जीता है, तो कितनी, यानी आप समझते हैं कि जो आपका कंट्रीब्यूशन है वो आपको कितना और आगे मोटिवेट कर रहा है?
जी बिल्कुल, काफ़ी मोटिवेशन मिलती है इस चीज़ से, अगर आप मैच फिनिश करके आओ और जिससे आपकी इनिंग से टीम जीते, तो उस चीज़ का कॉन्फिडेंस काफ़ी आता है, और जी बिल्कुल, मेरे ख्याल से वन ऑफ द बेस्ट इनिंग है जो मैंने आज खेली है, तो इससे मैं काफ़ी हैप्पी हूँ।
बाबर, कुछ हौसला तो हुआ होगा आज के मैच के बाद, जब आप प्लान कर रहे थे बैटिंग पहले करने का, तो अगर आपको बैटिंग मिल गई तो आप कैप्टन कह रहे थे कि अगर हमें टॉस जीते तो हम शायद बैटिंग पहले कर दें, इसको किस तरह
जी बिल्कुल, हमारा प्लान था हम पहले बैटिंग करें, लेकिन ये नहीं था कि हम ही टॉस जीते तो बैटिंग करते, वो टॉस जीते, उन्होंने बैटिंग की, वो हमारे लिए अच्छा हुआ। ये कहते हैं कि जो अच्छा होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है, तो वो हमारे लिए अच्छा हुआ, और जैसे हमने स्टार्ट किया बॉलिंग, और जैसे शहीन ने अच्छी बॉलिंग की, और वहाब भाई ने, आमिर भाई ने, शादाब ने, और सब ने अच्छा कंट्रीब्यूशन किया।
बाबर 10वीं सेंचुरी आज आपने बनाई, तो जो पिछली 9 सेंचुरियां थीं, ये टेस्ट में क्रिकेट में भी आपकी सेंचुरी है, क्या ये आपकी बेस्ट इनिंग्स है? और वनडे क्रिकेट में कोई ऐसा टारगेट है, जो कोई ऐसा रिकॉर्ड जहन में जो करना चाहते हैं?
जी बिल्कुल, मैं कह सकता हूँ कि वन ऑफ द बेस्ट इनिंग है मेरे, क्योंकि हमारे लिए अब टीम के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी था कि जीतना मैच, और मुश्किल विकेट था, और उसमें मुश्किल विकेट पे मैं अल्लाह ने रन्स करवाए हैं। और जी बिल्कुल, क्या था टारगेट, मेरा टारगेट यही है कि जो टॉप के प्लेयर हैं उनमें मैं भी हूँ, और मैं वैसा ही प्लान करता हूँ हर मैच में कि मैंने अपना 100% देना और हर मैच में परफॉर्म करना है। और परफॉर्म ये नहीं कि अपने लिए करना है, और टीम के लिए करना है। सबसे मेन जो मैं सोचता हूँ कि मेरी परफॉर्मेंस से टीम जीते, ये नहीं कि इंडिविजुअल मैं अपनी परफॉर्मेंस करूँ और मैं हैप्पी हो जाऊँ। मैं इस पर नहीं हैप्पी होता, मैं तब हैप्पी होता हूँ जब मेरी टीम जीतती है।
बाबर, इस टीम को देखते हुए जो अब तक वर्ल्ड कप में खेल रही है, क्या एक ऐसी चीज़ तुम समझते हो कि अगर वो और इसी टूर्नामेंट के दौरान बेहतर हो जाए तो हम मज़ीद बेहतर परफॉर्मेंस करते हैं, चाहे वो बैटिंग, बॉलिंग, फील्डिंग, किसी भी एरिया में?
जी बेहतर तो देखें आपके सामने बेहतर चीज़ें होती जा रही हैं, क्योंकि हम बिलीव करते हैं एक दूसरे पे, यकीन करते हैं कि यार अगर मैं नहीं करूँगा तो कोई दूसरा करेगा, अगर दूसरा नहीं करेगा तो तीसरा करेगा। ये नहीं कि छोड़ के आ जाते हैं कि वो करेगा तो वो उससे नहीं होगा तो भाई हम नहीं करेंगे। हम एक दूसरे पे बिलीव करते हैं, और इस बिलीव को हम कंटिन्यू करते हैं। और छोटी मोटी चीज़ें फील्डिंग पे कह सकते हैं कि थोड़ा सा हम काम करें और इसको बेहतर करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
बाबर, यूएई में नॉट टू लॉन्ग अगो आप लोग न्यूजीलैंड के खिलाफ खेले, लेकिन इस मैच से पहले ऑफ कोर्स दे वर अनबीटन इन दिस टूर्नामेंट। तो आज के इनिंग्स से पहले आप कितने कॉन्फिडेंट थे कि आप उनके खिलाफ सेंचुरी स्कोर कर सकते हैं?
जी बिल्कुल, काफ़ी कॉन्फिडेंस था, क्योंकि पिछले मैच में जो इनिंग खेली थी उससे मुझे काफ़ी कॉन्फिडेंस आया था, क्योंकि लास्ट 2-3 मैचों में मैं वैसा परफॉर्म नहीं कर पा रहा था। 48, 46, 40 में मैं आउट हो रहा था, लेकिन मैंने वहाँ पे आके अपना माइंडसेट थोड़ा और स्ट्रॉन्ग किया कि मुझे एंड तक जाना है, और ये है कि 100 करना है। लेकिन वो पिछले मैच में नहीं हुआ, तो इस मैच में यही था कि यार मुझे जो प्लान दिया गया था आपने एंड तक खेलना है और अपना 100% देना। और मैंने भी अपना प्लान ये किया था कि मेरे इर्द गिर्द जैसे हफीज़ भाई खेले हैं, हैरी भाई खेले हैं, तो हमारा ये प्लान था कि उन्होंने मुझे ये कहा था कि आपने चांस नहीं लेना, और अगर हम चांस लेना होगा तो हम लेंगे। तो यही थी।
अच्छा बाबर, ये ऑन द फील्ड तो चीज़ें होती हैं, ऑफ द फील्ड जो आपने देखा ये क्राउड था, हरी झंडियाँ थी, लोगों की वर्दियाँ थी, उसका प्लेयर पे कितना इम्पैक्ट आता है, उसको कितना मोटिवेट करता है, जो सपोर्ट मिलती है, जो जोश और खरोश पैदा करते हैं लोग?
जाहिर सी बात है, अगर आपको इतना सपोर्ट मिलता है तो आप एज अ प्लेयर आप काफ़ी इस चीज़ को इंजॉय करते हैं, और कॉन्फिडेंस आता है इस चीज़ से कि आपको इतने अपने लोग इतने सपोर्ट करते हैं। तो मज़ा आता है कि इतना लोग आप बाउंड्री फील्डिंग में भी इतने लोग पीछे चेयर अप करते हैं, बैटिंग में तो करते हैं, आउट हो तो सब चेयर अप करते हैं, तो काफ़ी मज़ा आता है इस चीज़।
बाबर, ये बताइएगा, आज की बेहतरीन कारकर्दगी के बाद वज़ीर-ए-आज़म पाकिस्तान ने ट्वीट किया है, आपको और शाहीन को, हारिस को मुबारकबाद दी है, क्या कहेंगे इस पे?
जी बिल्कुल, थैंक यू कहेंगे उनका कि उन्होंने हमें इतनी ट्वीट की हमारे लिए, और खुशकिस्मत है कि इतने बड़े प्लेयर ने हमारे लिए, वज़ीर-ए-आज़म ने हमारे लिए ट्वीट की है।
बाबर, 2017 में भी आप जो चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी जीते थे, तो सेकंड हाफ में एकदम से मोमेंटम बनना शुरू हो गया था, जो ऐसा एकदम अनस्टॉपेबल सा हो गया था, वैसी सी फीलिंग आ रही है अभी?
जी बिल्कुल, फीलिंग यही है कि पॉजिटिव फीलिंग है, ऐसी कुछ नहीं है कि हमने जो इसके बाद जो हमारा न्यूजीलैंड साउथ अफ्रीका के मैच से पहले जो हमारा जो प्लान था, हमने यही था कि यार डू एंड डाई है, अपना 100% देना है। और अभी हम इस 4 मैचेस के बारे में सोच रहे थे, और जो 2 हो गए हैं और आगे जो 2 आ रहे हैं उसका हम सोच रहे हैं। तो यही है कि हम जैसे इस 2 मैचों में हमने 100% दिया और अगले मैच में 100% देंगे, तो रिज़ल्ट जब आएंगे तो
कुछ ऐसे डू और डाई मैच में एक्स्ट्रा खास कुछ करने लग जाती है आपकी टीम?
नहीं सर, जो नॉर्मल जो चल रहा है चीज़ें वही कंटिन्यू कर रहे हैं हम।
बाबर, यकीनन ये बड़ी यादगार सेंचुरी आपने की, सिजदा भी किया आपने सेंचुरी के बाद। किसको डेडिकेट करेंगे, किसके नाम करेंगे सेंचुरी?
सर डेडिकेट तो ये कि पाकिस्तान जो टीम जीती है वो मेरे लिए सबसे अजीज़ है कि हमारी टीम जीती है। और डेडिकेट ये है कि फैमिली को डेडिकेट करूँगा, फैंस को करूँगा कि इतना हमें उन्होंने सपोर्ट किया, मुझे सपोर्ट किया, तो मैं फैमिली और फैंस को डेडिकेट करूँगा।
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Batter up, let's get to it. It's time for the USOP, USOP, US, USOP, 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 US, US. Ready for the USOP, USOP, US, USOP, USOP, USOP. We playing cricket, we playing cricket. Team of winners, team of winners, team of winners. Been hanging with winners since I was just a beginner. I'm hungry, feed me now, just bring it and go. Big trophies, loud crowds, fans around the globe. I done lost before, but see that's what made me grow. Now I'm ready. Got a champion heart, I got a champion soul, and I came to win. For that I lose it all. For the USOP, USOP, US. USOP, 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 US, US. Ready for the USOP, USOP, US, USOP, USOP, USOP. We playing cricket, we playing cricket. I came in to win, so I'm here for the fight. Got my T20 drink and I'm feeling real hype. I didn't come this far just to catch the next flight. Batter up, first swing, 3 wickets, no strike. So I gotta win. All on the line, I gotta bid. They say hard work pay off, or something gotta give. Well, I know what I gotta give. My best, because this time I gotta win. Time for the USOP, USOP, US, USOP, 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 US, US. Ready for the USOP, USOP, US, USOP, USOP, USOP. We playing cricket, we playing cricket.
From Delhi Metro Watch Islamabad, you are the unbeaten team. What was the turning point for the today match? What do you think about that?
I think probably being 46 for 4, I think was a pretty significant moment in the game. I think any time obviously you get the new ball moving, Pakistan's bowling unit's obviously really impressive. So yeah, to sort of try and dig ourselves out of that hole took a lot of doing, but I think we potentially got to a score that was defendable, but obviously the way Babar, Azam and Harris are held batted didn't allow us to, I suppose, get some momentum and try and get into their middle order.
Imdad Shahzad, Channel 5. Still you hope to go in the final? Semi-final?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry.
I think you'd be pretty naive to expect to go through the whole tournament unbeaten. I think there's too many quality teams going around to expect to win every game, and we prepared before the tournament that we would probably lose 1 or 2 games, but for us it's all about making it to those semi-finals, and then you're only 2 good games away from lifting the trophy. So for us, nothing changes. We'll prepare for the next game the same way we've prepared for the last 6.
Jimmy, do you feel the team may have missed the trick by not playing East Sodi today?
Look, it turned. I think we can only obviously work on what we're told leading into the game, and we probably selected the team based on the information we had. But look, I think in hindsight it's easy to say an extra spinner would have been useful, but I think with the bowlers we had, the quality we had at the bowling crease was enough to defend that total, and unfortunately it just didn't fall our way today.
Yeah. This new left-arm fast bowler in Pakistan, Shaheen Shah, how difficult was it to face him when the ball was moving around?
Yeah, he's obviously a quality bowler, I think. He had a really good under-19 World Cup not too long ago, and he sort of kept taking good strides in the international team. And I think it's facing him is quite similar to facing Mustafizur from Bangladesh, the way his slower ball actually bounces at you. And I think on a deck like that today obviously suited his style of bowling well, and he put us under a lot of pressure.
Today's match is looking like an episode of toss winning. The team who has won the toss, they have lost the match. So do you think it's the role of the toss today also?
Well, if the team that loses the toss wins, it's probably pretty good for us. I don't think we've got a very good record with the toss over the last couple of years, but look, I don't even tend to watch the toss, to be fair, in the morning. I prepare for doing whatever we're doing, and as an all-rounder, you're generally in the game either way. So for me, it's all about preparing the best I can in the morning and doing whatever we're doing.
There was a lot of talk about Babar Azam not having fulfilled his potential. Were you wary of him? I mean, you know, before his coming out to the crease, were you thinking that this could have been his day?
What is the average in ODI cricket?
What is what? His,
What
yes,
is the
of course,
average?
his is very high, but as in this tournament I'm talking about. Yeah.
This tournament.
Yeah.
Look, I think in such a small sample size, you'd be naive to expect good players to score runs at every game, and we know the quality they have in their batting lineup, and it's only a matter of time when you've got players of that quality before they do score runs. So we've potentially got a few guys like that in our lineup at the moment who externally have a bit of pressure on them, but internally in our team we believe in their ability, and the nature of the game is that you're going to have lean trots here and there, but it's all about the quality of the player.
Obviously, you and de Grandhomme pulled the innings around for New Zealand there. Was it tough to judge exactly when to go big? Because obviously over the last 4 overs you did really go big, but what was the chat there in terms of deciding when to really tee off?
We targeted the 43rd when we came together. I think when you look at the quality of death bowling that Pakistan have, you really want to try and avoid exposing your tail to coming out and having to start against especially reverse swing. And so we knew our death phase wouldn't be as long as it potentially would be if we had more wickets in the tank, but we still believe that with the power we have that we could still make hay in those last 7 overs, and I think we got 85 off the last 10, which I think we would have taken 5 down going in.
Jimmy, despite the fact that New Zealand lost the game, but you said 2 marks, 97 not out, the highest score at number 6 batting, and 132 is the highest partnership for the second wicket. How do you feel about it?
Something I'll probably reflect on after the tournament's finished. I think obviously the whole point of trying to graft out a partnership like that is to try and get yourselves in a position to win the game, and I feel like we potentially did that. We potentially had a score that was defendable, but obviously in a game where you lose, you don't take a whole lot of pleasure out of stuff like that.
Did the pitch play as you expected? You won the toss, you batted. Did it play as you expected? And generally, are the pitches in this World Cup different from the ones you've been playing on in between, before the tournament?
I don't really expect anything going to play on any pitch. I think that's all about, I suppose, being a number 6 batsman is your adaptability, and I think the beauty of it is that you do get to see 4 or 5 guys try and have a bat on it before you go out and have to do it yourself. So it obviously looked pretty difficult for the guys at the top of the order. So for me, it was all about trying to obviously generate a partnership, trying to absorb some of that pressure, and then get to the back end of the game where you can try and, I suppose, put that pressure back on the bowlers. And potentially the wicket was not as good as we were told it was going to be, but you just got to deal with that.
Jimmy, can you just tell us about there's a phase in that second innings where you had it under control with about 15-16 runs, we scored over 5 overs, and then Colin Munro came over to bowl that 1 over, and then you had about 17 runs scored with the next 7-8 balls. Would you be able to tell us what was the thought behind that, and if that's where the game sort of ran away?
Well, I was a deep backward square leg, so I can't tell you the thinking that was going through, but obviously the wicket was slow. It was tough to time the slower bowlers, and Manners has the ability to bowl sort of knuckle balls and slower balls wicket to wicket, so I could see how that would be quite a challenging style of bowler to face. But I think the nature of having a total of that amount on the board is that you will have periods where you're building pressure, but it's a case of, is there going to be a wicket or is there going to be a release of pressure, because it's not going to go on forever. So we obviously saw a chance to get a wicket in that period. It didn't happen, but I don't know what we'd do in hindsight.
Jimmy, what do you say to Martin and Colin at the top of the order at the moment? Because they do seem to be going through quite a tough patch.
I don't say anything to them. I think, look, they're quality players. They both play very differently to how I play. I don't really have a whole lot of knowledge when it comes to opening the batting. I've done it very rarely. So I think they're quality players. Guys go through lean trots. It's the nature of the game. And I think we'll have a lot of, I suppose, time to work hard preparing for the next game. And we'll prepare the same way we do for every other game. And we're basically in a situation now where it's 1 win from 2. And we'll be in the semi-finals, which is obviously our goal at the start of the tournament.
Jimmy, I know you have said that you would rather score a 5 in a winning cause than 90 in a losing cause. But just on this innings, the length of the innings, you batted through almost through the innings, saw the team through the crisis, and gave yourself a total that you could fight with. That must be pleasing.
I'm pretty tired now. That's my sort of emotions at the moment, I think. Obviously I suppose there's external noise about whether you have the ability to guide an innings like that, and I sort of have belief in my own ability that I have the ability to come out at 40 for 4 and guide a team to 200 plus, and also the ability to come out at 310 for 3 with 2 overs to go. So it's just about putting it out there, I suppose, and having belief in your own processes. And obviously we had a large period of time where we had to soak up pressure. That was the nature of the wicket and the nature of the bowling attack, but we certainly had belief that we could get through that hard period, then we'd be able to score some runs at the back end, which is what ended up happening.
Jimmy, just next match, obviously a big derby against Australia. How do you go about shaking this off and preparing for Mitchell, Stark and company steaming in at Lords?
The mood in the dressing room is good. The guys were joking and laughing when I left. We're not the type of team that takes losses really hard. I think we'll have a couple of beers tonight as a team and kind of talk about how that game went, and then we'll pretty much park it and we'll hit our scouting tomorrow morning pretty fresh. And Australia are a team that we've played a lot of over the last 2 or 3 years. We know how they go about the game. They're obviously a very good team, but we certainly won't prepare any differently for them as we would any other game.
Jim, you've got a nice easy run in against Australia and England. Would it be fair to say that you're in a better position than England at the moment to qualify for the semi-finals? Would you rather be in your position than theirs?
Well, we have more points. I think that's probably what you want in a league scenario. I think, as I mentioned before, we don't spend any time paying any attention to how other teams are going or how they prepare. I think for us it's all about looking after our own backyard, and we've obviously been playing really good cricket over the tournament so far. Today was a bit of a blip, but that certainly won't change the way we prepare for the last 2 games.
Thanks very much.